Thank you for having me, and thank you for that introduction. Will Chamberlain at the Article 3 Project is now working with the Edmund Burke Foundation. He helped put on this event, so thank you to Will for extending the invitation. Josh Hammer, also at the Article 3 Project, spoke at NatCom, so it's a pleasure being here. I'm here to talk about judicial sabotage, and we're seeing a lot of that. Our Constitution is a loan agreement between we the people and our governments. And we are radically different from Great Britain, from which we escaped. And Speaker Newt Gingrich used to talk about this when I interned for him like 27 years ago. We the people are the sovereign. That is, in Great Britain, most of the rest of the world, we have the sovereign king or queen, and then that power comes from God to the sovereign king or queen, and then the sovereign king or queen lends power to his or her subjects through documents like the Magna Carta. In America, it's radically different. We the people are the sovereign. We have the sovereign power, and we loan power to our governments through our United States Constitution. It's a loan agreement. And so we give our federal government specific, enumerated, and divided powers under our Constitution. And what the powers that we lend to the government, the federal government, is spelled out in the Constitution, and everything else belongs to the states and we the people as confirmed by the 10th Amendment to the Constitution. So the federal government's powers are limited, and then those powers are divided. Congress has the legislative power under Article 1. The president has the executive power, all executive power, under Article 2. Then the federal judiciary has the judicial power under Article 3. And that judicial power under Article 3 relates to cases and controversies of the parties properly before the court with redressable claims. That is a crucial power, but that is a modest power. That the job of a judge is to decide cases before them with the parties properly before them. It's not to legislate from the bench. It's not to issue nationwide injunctions affecting parties that are not before them. And I think that judges forget this because they think their job is to wear capes instead of robes. They think their job is to fly around the country and save us from the duly elected President of the United States. And let's talk about that. President Trump campaigned on the fact that he's going to secure our border. He's going to expel illegal aliens, particularly dangerous terrorists like Tren de Aragua and MS-13. And he's going to cut waste, fraud, and abuse. That the American people like what they heard. They liked it a lot after 4 years of President Biden's mass invasion of our country of over 10 million illegal aliens. Some would say 20 million, right? And we brought in unvetted and unvettable fighting-age men from the worst trouble spots around the world. And these illegal aliens are obviously here illegally, and there are statutes on the books to get them the hell out of our country. And President Trump is doing the unthinkable in Washington, D.C. You just heard from Tom Homan, his all-star border czar. President Trump's doing the unthinkable. He's actually doing what he promised American voters he would do. And those American voters gave him 312 electoral votes, all 7 swing states, the popular vote. President Trump kept the House of Representatives. He won a comfortable margin in the Senate. He has a mandate from we the people, the sovereign people of America, to implement his campaign agenda, his policy agenda, and his constitutional duties under Article 2 of our Constitution to repel an invasion as the commander-in-chief, to get these dangerous terrorists the hell out of our country, and to take care that our laws are faithfully executed. And after President Trump won this broad electoral mandate, the Democrats did not like what the American voters delivered. So they're trying to sabotage him. They have Democrat plaintiffs, Democrat attorneys, Democrat witnesses, and Democrat judges. These Democrat operatives in judicial hellholes like Washington, D.C., and New York City and other heavily Democrat areas are issuing, they're getting these activist judges, these Democrat activist judges, to issue nationwide injunctions to hobble the President of the United States and really to hobble the will of the American people. This is so much bigger than President Trump, right? This is about who governs this country. Do we, the people, govern this country as the sovereign people, or do we have unelected bureaucrats in Washington, D.C., these Tony Fauci's of the world, these so-called experts who are supposed to run our lives? Remember this, President Trump is not stealing legislative power from Congress under Article 1. He's not stealing the federal judiciary's judicial power under Article 3. If he were doing either of those things, I would tell the courts to stop him. But he's not. He is exercising core Article 2 power as the commander-in-chief to repel the invasion of our southern border, really our northern border as well. He's exercising his core Article 2 power as the chief executive officer to take care that our laws are faithfully executed. Here's some examples. You have, step back and think about what is our most crucial sovereign powers as a country. It is to control our border. It is to control our population, right? We do not want to become Europe, where they allow the invasion of Islamists to take over the United Kingdom, to take over London, to take over their population. That's not going to happen in America. That's unacceptable, right? And that's what President Trump and Kristi Noem and Stephen Miller and Tom Homan and the rest of President Trump's team are fighting every day. That is our sovereign power as we the people to control our border and to control our population. In that loan agreement in our Constitution, we never gave away that sovereign power to federal judges, never. Not at our founding when the Fifth Amendment was enacted, not after the Civil War when the 14th Amendment was enacted, not in any Congress since then, certainly not after the last election did we ever give away our sovereign power to federal judges to control our border and to control our population. So this notion that there is somehow a Fifth Amendment constitutional right for illegal aliens related to their expulsion from this country, that would be foreign to our founders. That they never contemplated that, and we the people never agreed to that, right? And so remember that as these activist judges, and it's more than just the Democrats. If these activist judges think that there is Fifth Amendment constitutional rights for illegal aliens related to their expulsion, that we never agreed to that as we the people, the sovereign people of America. So look at what these, Judge Ali brags that he's the first Muslim and first Arab judge on the D.C. District Court. He was appointed by Biden. He got confirmed in the lame duck session after Kamala lost the White House and Democrats lost the Senate. They jammed this guy through, right? And one of his first judicial acts of Judge Ali, who is, by the way, still a foreign citizen. He is a dual citizen. He is a citizen of Canada. I don't know how the hell you have a dual citizen as a federal judge, right? When you have dual loyalties. And one of the first things that he did was he issued an injunction against President Trump when President Trump wanted to do a pause on foreign aid from USAID to do a national security review, to make sure that we're not funding, for example, Hamas terrorists who are killing Americans under the guise of Gazan humanitarian relief. And Judge Ali issued an order, this order that President Trump had to send $2 billion out the door before he can do that review. I mean, that is the president doing a review of foreign aid to make sure we're not killing Americans, right? That is his core, not only his constitutional power to do that. That is his constitutional duty as the commander-in-chief. That is his constitutional duty as the chief executive officer to take care that our laws are faithfully executed. And shockingly, the Supreme Court let this happen, right? They let this activism happen, and it only emboldens these other judges, right? And so we're seeing the president's legal team. He has an all-star team. He has Susie Wiles as the White House chief of staff and David Warrington as the White House counsel. David Warrington has a really good White House counsel team of very smart lawyers, litigators. Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, Chief of Staff Chad Mizell, Stanley Woodward, who's going to be the number 3, the Associate Attorney General, Harmeet Dillon, who you heard last night at the dinner, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino. President Trump has assembled John Sauer, who's the Solicitor General of the United States, so many others, Brett Shumate, the Civil Division. President Trump is assembling an all-star team at the Justice Department, and they are winning major wins for the presidency. And it's so much bigger than President Trump. This is about the presidency, and it's about how we are governed. Are we governed by a president of the United States who we elect, who has all executive power to carry out his campaign, his electoral mandate, or are we elected by, are we governed by unelected judges, unelected bureaucrats, the Tony Fauci's of the world? It's unacceptable. You're seeing this with D.C. Obama judge Jeb Boasberg, right? These Democrat activist judges have turned these foreign terrorists into their heroes. Like they want to go, the Democrat senators are going down and having tequila with margaritas with Saint Abrigo Garcia. They've canonized him as the patron saint of human trafficking and wife beating and human smuggling. I mean, it's unbelievable to me. This is not our parents' or grandparents' Democrat Party. These are not liberals who love America and just disagree with us on the best way to get there. These are leftists. These are Marxists. Many of them hate America, and they're trying to destroy our country from within. And many of these leftists were appointed by Barack Obama and Joe Biden to the federal bench. And we're going to have to deal with this. Thank God President Trump won this last election, because just imagine if we had 10, 20 million people in Biden's 4 years. Just imagine what the Democrats would have done over the next 4 years. We would have lost our country. We saw what Democrats tried to do to President Trump before the election. They tried to throw him in prison 4 times for non-crimes. They tried to bankrupt him for non-fraud. They tried to throw him off the ballot unconstitutionally in several states. And when that all failed, President Biden intentionally underfunded President Trump's Secret Service, said that President Trump was the gravest threat to democracy ever, essentially, that he was Hitler, and to put a bullseye. President Biden said to put a bullseye on him. And then President Trump almost had his head blown off twice, right? And only by a millisecond and a millimeter was President Trump spared. I mean, I was raised Catholic, 13 years of Catholic school. I can't say that I'm the best Catholic, but I would say this. If you watch what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania, I don't know how you can think that wasn't by the hand of God that saved him. And I really think President Trump is on a mission to not only save America, but to save the West and to save our Judeo-Christian tradition, to save our Judeo-Christian values. And that doesn't necessarily mean a religious thing. It's just we have values in this country going back to our founding, right? That's in our founding document in the loan agreement called the Constitution. Conservatives are trying to conserve that, right? And today's Democrats are trying to destroy that. We can never give up this fight. This is too important that we preserve the greatest experiment in American history called America, right? We can't lose that, because if we lose this country, if we lose our Judeo-Christian values, we're going to lose the world. I mean, we're seeing this in Europe, where they are allowing a mass invasion of Islamists into Europe that are they're going to destroy the country. I don't know. Is it going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? Who knows? But think about this from a national security perspective. When Islamists take over the United Kingdom, are we still going to keep our NATO agreement to spend our treasure and send our kids over there to die for Islamist Britain? Are we going to allow Islamist Britain to have nuclear weapons? I mean, this is what happens when you do not control your borders. When these judges think that they can take our sovereign power as we the people and give out get out of jail free cards to criminals, and to allow an illegal mass invasion of our country and hobble the president of the United States so he can't do his job and get these people the hell out of our country. And so we're fighting this every day at the Article 3 Project. We are trying to help these judges find and keep their backbones. Will Chamberlain helps run our judicial sabotage tracker at article3project.org. So take a look at that, and we have to win this fight. We have to make sure that we keep our sovereign power as we the people. We have to control our border. We have to control our population. We are a welcoming people. We welcome legal immigration, but we're not going to be stupid and get overwhelmed. So thank you for that, for having me today.